After I sold my company, I found myself in the living room, hitting refresh on the browser, trying to find something to see or do for weeks and months, and there was nothing. Now, there could have been everything, but I couldn't see that. I couldn't see that because I'm not able to bounce any idea off of anybody else that I'm seeing. So I'm just trapping it in my head. No idea becomes real until it leaves your lips. So without actually saying it out loud to someone else, it doesn't exist. So those were the first seeds of where Geekdom came from, was looking for others to validate or to not validate ideas that I had trapped in my head.
We had acquired a company at Rackspace from Blacksburg, Virginia, called Webmail, and the three founders had promised to move to San Antonio. And one of the three founders, named Bill, he sent me an email that said, "Dear Graham, San Antonio does not have a scene for developers. It is not a place that entrepreneurship thrives. There's nowhere I can go for a jog out my front door with my dog every day. It doesn't have a walkable community." And in summary, he said, "I'm not moving to San Antonio. It doesn't have what I'm looking for." I had been at Rackspace for 10 plus years at that point, and I had heard plenty of people say they weren't willing to move to San Antonio. But this was the moment where it really got my juices flowing. And really that email changed my life. I forwarded that email to the mayor of San Antonio, Julian Castro. I said, "This is a city that we must build."
Back in the day, Coffee Cup Software was the largest customer of Rackspace at the time. When I sold my company, I found myself talking to Graham. We were working on a program for Rackspace called the Startup Program. So we decided that for us to learn more, we would take a road trip. We visited places like Techstars and 500 Startups, General Assembly, WeWork at their first place.
We went to Palo Alto, to San Francisco, to Philadelphia, to New York. That is, wherever we went, we saw so much excitement, especially in co-working spaces.
On the airplane ride back, Graham asked me, so what do you want to do?
San Antonio needs a place where a startup community can form, where people could chase their dream.
And I said, I want to do a collaborative co-working space. Members, whether they're a developer or whether they're a designer, a coder, a marketing guy, would give 1 hour a week of their time back to help another member or do a workshop once a month on their expertise.
That's how Geekdom was born. It was born on the plane ride back from the East Coast. And that is when we dreamed up the word Geekdom.
The definition in the Urban Dictionary when I first read it was a place where more than two geeks gather. And I always thought that was funny, but at the same time, I don't know if anything could mesh more so with developers and geeks and creatives than having their own castle. We held a startup meetup, and I think we probably had about 100 people show up. As I got up there and did the talk about what Geekdom was going to be, about half of them signed up for membership literally that night. And then the catalyst was from them.
Back in 2012, downtown needed a new mission. The founding of Geekdom was a symbol of a moment, of a beginning of a new era for downtown and for the whole city. When Geekdom came downtown, all of a sudden that was a moment where the startup, the tech company, the young company wanted to start downtown. And that really had not been the case ever before.
Blazing your own path, doing the things that you want to do. Now, you can do that inside of a company if that company allows you to be an intrapreneur. But to be an entrepreneur, you have to have enough risk tolerance to say, I can do this. If I can get the right team around me, I know we can pull this off. It's really unbelievable when you see what's happened over the last almost 8 years. The fact that people are able to start a company, to make money, hire people, pay for insurance, do all the things that are normal, but they're doing it themselves and not relying on another company to do it for them is amazing to me.
More than 1,000 jobs have been created from Geekdom companies, and I'm so proud of that. They've been created one at a time, a dozen at a time. Geekdom became the place to chase your dream and find your team. Rackspace today is 6,500 employees, 2/3 of whom are in San Antonio. I like to think about Geekdom as being the place where the next Rackspace will be born. The next large-scale tech company can be born right here in San Antonio in the next decade.
I don't know if coming to Geekdom happens on your best day. I think that for many, it's coming on your worst. These are times when you're transitioning in your life and then you need support. And the members of Geekdom and the staff are here to support you and let you go to your next step.
Bill lives in Austin and is a master entrepreneur yet again with another very successful startup. I think San Antonio today would stand a very good chance of winning Bill over, and that's because of the progress that we've made since that famous email.
Most of the people that I see at Geekdom are exactly the same as me. And if their timing is right and their idea is right, they'll be sitting in this chair telling this story, and I won't be here 10, 20, 30 years from now. And they'll build some fantastically great large company, or they'll sell a couple, and that will be a perfect close to the chapter.